think in the next 12 months we're going to see a little bit more of the consolidation that's happened, and I think we're going to see a bunch of breweries trying to understand beyond the next year where they're supposed to be, what space are they supposed to be in, how big they need to grow to be. I mean, we're seeing a lot of breweries whose growth has slowed down, and frankly it's going to be interesting to see where everybody determines they're supposed to grow in the future and how they're going to get there. Well, I mean, we're in San Diego, and this is one of the most heavily saturated markets for craft beer in the country. We're about a 30 share, so 3 out of every 10 beers in this city are craft beer already. And in order to get to a higher share point, that means we have to create more drinkers or more occasions. And that's not an easy thing to do when you already have a very mature beer market. So the difficulty comes in where can you find those new opportunities for people to drink that beer. I think that everybody's looking around the entire pool of people making beer right now is probably as diverse as it's ever been. You've got big money players at the macro level, you've got big money players who bought microbreweries, you've got big regional breweries who grew up into large entities, and you've got a lot of little breweries. The most interesting stat, I think, is that 90% of the breweries in this country still make a very small amount of beer. And so there's a lot of little guys supporting the cause. And those guys have a lot more flexibility and nimbleness that bigger players don't. So while we're all making craft beer, what can we do that they can't do because we're smaller? I think that a lot of us that got our start here 20 plus years ago are still here. We're still doing what we love to do. The question mark is with the respect to a lot of the new people, and even some people who may have come along in the last few years, what's their motive, what's their reasoning, what are they hoping to accomplish? And so much of the foundation that had to be laid in order for this to be a great craft beer town has been laid. But now that the road is there and we've put the pavement down, what are we going to do? How are we going to maintain that sense of collaboration and not competitive spirit? Because money's gotten bigger in this town. It's a lot more big, and when that comes along, it changes some of the rules. I think getting out of bed every morning is the funnest thing I do. I mean, I get to run to work. I get to race to a great group of people. I get to take on an enormous amount of new challenges. And at the end of the day, if we've had a bad day, there's always a cup of this or two waiting. So I think getting out of bed every day.